Lumos. Hello magical friends! I'm Vita Lovegood, and boy do we have a ton of new Wizards Unite info to go over. So let's just jump into it. First, this game is going to open up with Harry Potter present day. So he's all grown up and an aura at the Ministry of Magic. He wants our help investigating the Calamity. Now we still don't know what's causing the Calamity, but we do know more of what the Calamity is causing. Calamity is causing magical traces to appear around the Muggle world. These traces are also known as foundables. These foundables can be multiple things. They can be magical items, magical creatures, or it can be people pulled from throughout history. So we could see Harry from his younger years in Hogwarts. We could see young Albus Dumbledore or Newt Scamander. Just anybody that you can think of from throughout history, they'll probably pull in for us to see. Ooh, I wonder if I'll get to meet Rowena Ravenclaw. That would be so much fun! Creatures can be either good or evil. If they're good, then we'll need to help them. So like this picture of this demiguise, it's locked up. So we need to use Alohomora to help it escape. Versus an example of a bad creature that we need to fight off is like this werewolf that is just out running amok in the middle of the day in a park. So when the game launches, we'll start off with only 100 traces, but that should grow. And each of these traces are going to be categorized under our registry. So do you guys remember this from our Niffler video? We now know what these categories mean. So I've done my best to try to sort out what they mean. I'm sure some of these are wrong, so leave your thoughts down below on which ones that you think might need to be switched around. I did a complete guessing game on this whole thing, but we do know that these are the registry categories, and we do know that these are the symbols. So the only thing I'm guessing on is what category goes with which symbol. So first with the snitch, we've got magical games and sports. A pretty obvious one in my opinion. Next, this one was one of my guesses. With the wand with a little bit of magic coming out, I guessed that it was Legends of Hogwarts. Next we have a keyhole. So I guessed that that was mysterious artifacts because we don't know what's behind the keyhole. We need the key to get there. The next one is Ministry of Magic, another obvious one. Then we've got Dark Arts with the skull, another obvious one. So for the next two, it stumped me for a split second, and then once I thought about it, it made a lot more sense. So for the Niffler, even though we were supposed to meet him in Goblet of Fire, in the movies we really didn't get to meet a Niffler until the Fantastic Beasts franchise. So what is Newt Scamander? A magizoologist. So of course, Niffler footprint, magizoology. Next, we have the hippogriff footprint, and we meet our first hippogriff Buckbeak in Care of Magical Creatures in The Prisoner of Azkaban, along with more hippogriffs, but in the movies we don't get to meet them, so whatever. So that's why I sorted it that way. We've got the Niffler footprint for magizoology, and we've got the hippogriff footprint to represent Care of Magical Creatures. These next two are also guesses, so let me know if you disagree. So we've got the 9 3/4 symbol, and I put that with Wonders of the Wizarding World. And then we've got a 6-pointed star, which I put with Oddities. So maybe it's different. And then finally we've got the Hogwarts H to represent Hogwarts School. So that is our registry. We will likely be finding foundables that represent each different category right off the bat. So that's pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see how each category is represented. I'm super excited for this game. Everything we know so far is just, ah! Some foundables will appear randomly out in the world and will be influenced by a few different variables. We've got weather, biome, time of day, and moon phases. Yes, moon phases. So that means we should only find werewolves when there's a full moon out, and certain plants will only pop up and grow during certain moon phases. So yay! Thank you Niantic and WB. You guys are doing such wonderful things. So as we complete whatever we need to do for each different foundable, it will increase whatever number we need to complete for that foundable. Keep going with me. Don't worry, I'll get there in a second. So look at this image right here. There are a few different creatures and they have different numbers by them. So the left-hand number is going to be completed encounters and the right-hand number is going to be how many you need to complete before you can do more interactions with these foundables. So for example, it wants you to have 10 encounters with a hippogriff, so you're not necessarily going to have them in your bag at all times, like with Pokemon Go. You're going to have to encounter these beasts multiple times, and then once you hit that number, you'll be able to take photos with it or do other things in AR. Whatever we are going to have the capability of doing in AR, first you have to complete that many encounters with that creature or item or whatever it is. Now some more rare foundables are only going to be found in fortresses. This leads me on to my next point. We are going to have 4 different points of interest as locations. I could be wrong, it could just be 3, I could be misinterpreting it, but from what I'm gathering, we have 4 different things that a point of interest could be. So along with fortresses, you could encounter an inn, a greenhouse, or a landmark. An inn is where you're going to be able to stock up on food, and ironically, food is going to give you energy. Makes complete sense. In greenhouses, you'll be able to find potions items, so I'm assuming ingredients and plants. And in one article, it also said that this is where you'll be brewing potions, but only one article said that, so don't quote me. Other articles just said that it was going to be a different screen, and didn't specify how to get to that screen. So it could just be something that you can do from home, or you might have to go to these special points of interest, these special greenhouses, in order to brew your potions. It'd be interesting because typically you don't brew potions in greenhouses, but we'll see. I'm not mad so far about anything, so I'm just anticipating an amazing game. Next, it just says landmarks are going to give you other different types of foundables. Now, from what I gather, different landmarks are going to give you different things depending on what they are. So if the landmark is found in a park, it's going to give you beasts, versus if a landmark is downtown somewhere, it might give you potions ingredients. Finally, fortresses. These are going to be amazing. First off, this is what they look like, and from the little pixelations that I can tell, it looks like it's going to be Hogwarts. Literally, it looks like it's going to be a castle just sitting out in the middle of the world. These other images, I'm just guessing on which one is which. I'm not sure what's going to be an inn, what's going to be a greenhouse, what's going to be a landmark, but I do know that this castle-looking thing is a fortress, and amazing. Fortresses are going to be one of the places that we're actually uniting. So I'm just going to say out in the wild because that's an easy term to go along. So if it's not found in a point of interest, then I'm going to say that it's out in the wild. So you can find runestones out in the wild with those foundables. And then you can use those to team up with other wizards and witches to go battle in a fortress. Now, a fortress is a multi-level dungeon type of building, is what it was described as, where you encounter different levels of foundables. So the bottom level is going to be a somewhat easier level foundable, and then as you go up with your team, it gets harder, and then the rewards you get for completing or beating each foundable will also get more rare and better. Up to 5 people can battle in a fortress at once, and it's better to have a team of people that have different careers. So some will be better attacked by an auror, some will be better attacked by a magizoologist, and some will be better attacked by a professor. You'll need to work together to defeat all of the bosses in the whole fortress before the timer runs out. Now that leads me into professions. There won't be teams in this game. But there will be professions. Each profession will train you in different things, so your skills will differ from other professions to help make a more cohesive team when working together. So, for example, an auror would be better at taking down a Death Eater, versus a magizoologist would be better at taking down creatures. And then a professor is particularly gifted at brewing potions and can apparently help heal other teammates. So all very, very important professions and all very important to have in your team when you go into these fortresses. Upon joining the task force, we're going to be able to create our own ministry IDs. So with these, we're going to be able to choose our wand type, core, length, and flexibility, and we're going to be able to take a photo of ourselves in the game that's going to be saved onto our ID cards. No, we can't share our ID cards, that's just for ourselves in the games, but I'm sure you can, take a screenshot and share it with your friends. And we're going to be able to add on different items. So you're going to be able to dress yourself up in the photo, I'm assuming with AR, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The examples that they gave were hats, scarves, and Luna's Spectra Specs. I think I'm covered there. So there are a couple items that we know about so far. They're going to be dark detectors, which are going to act kind of like lures from Pokemon Go, except you're able to stack them. So you can put multiple ones and just pull in a lot of calamity to wherever you're at, I'm assuming. By the way, I know that sounded really wonky. Just go with it, just go with it. The last thing is a Portkey. So this isn't going to be what you're thinking with a typical Portkey. It's going to be a little bit different. So first, from my understanding, you're going to have to collect them, and I'm assuming it's going to have a set location when you pick it up. And then you're going to be required to walk a certain distance while it is in your bag. I'm not completely sure on this. I just know that people have been comparing it to eggs and incubators. So I'm assuming you have to go a certain distance before you're able to activate it. Then, once you activate the Portkey, it's going to open up this big portal that you're able to walk through. So you do need a lot of space. You can't do this in your living room. So you're gonna be able to open it up and physically walk through it. And then once you're inside, you're gonna be able to use your phone and look around this 360 room. And it's going to be magical places that we already know. So like Dumbledore's office and Ollivander's and any other magical place that you can think of. I imagine they're going to want to include as a 3D virtual walk-around experience. So another very cool way to use AR. And the fact that we get to use Portkeys and walk through a portal, that's so magical and fun. Here's a few more random notes before I jump into the photos. The map is going to be a little bit more busy than the Pokemon Go map. So there's going to be owls and brooms flying around over your head. There's going to be smoke coming out of chimneys from the inns, I'm assuming. From the sounds of it, there's just a lot going on. It's not just like a basic map that you're looking at. There's it looks like there's things going on, which so cool. This map looks so amazing. I'll get into that in a second. Next. In Pokemon Go, anytime you go past a certain speed, your avatar does this crazy little thing where they just kind of freak out and they're just like running, 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 running. It's kind of amusing to watch sometimes. In this, we will not have that. Once you pass a certain speed, your character is going to jump on a broom. Oh, I freaked out when I read that. I was like, yay, that's like... Lastly, Hogwarts houses will be included, but we don't know what they'll mean yet other than just getting to represent your Hogwarts house. There are hints that it's going to mean something in the future, but we don't know what that's going to be quite yet, so just be happy that you get to represent. Last but not least, this image of the map looks stunning. So down here we've got, it looks like a little inn. I'm assuming that these little purple ones are going to be inns. I'm assuming that back here, those are going to be the greenhouses, maybe. And then over here we've got a little image. Those are going to be the fortresses for sure. It looks like it's going to be Hogwarts Castle. I know I said that before. I'm just so stoked. And then down here there's another little building. Could that be a landmark? Now as we can see around her, there's this big red circle. I'm assuming that that's everything that we can interact with. I'm not sure what some of these symbols are, if there are different things that we can interact with. I'm sure that that little jelly bean is something that we can pick up. It might not be a jelly bean, but it looks like a jelly bean. And then I'm assuming that where we walk around, there will also be this circle with the star under it. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And then I believe these flagpoles with the little badge marks are going to be traces that we can go up to. So you can see where a trace is and go over there to encounter it and to do whatever it needs you to do. This color scheme is so magical. Like, it just makes me feel so tingly to look at it. All of these nice pastel purples and aqua blues and aqua greens. It's just so nice. Such a nice breath of fresh air. This whole entire game is just, it's blowing my mind. I didn't think that they could do all of this with an AR game. I literally set my expectations so low because I didn't think any of this was possible. So my mind literally exploded this morning when I got all this info. I literally just did not know what to do with myself. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I can't wait to play it and to play it with you guys and to share all of this magical excitement. If you plan on playing this game, definitely think about hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, maybe leave me a comment. All of that really helps me out. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Make sure to use your magic wisely and keep an eye out for Dementors. Nox. You're just as sane as I am.